All right, we're back with Dr. Joan Rosenberg. And Joan, let's talk about the difference between storytelling and dumping.
Okay. All right.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Because it's a distinct difference, right?
A big difference.
You cannot dump on your audience.
No. No. In fact, you don't want to even dump on your best friend. So think of dumping as disowning. Let me give you an example.
Yeah.
Let's say you and I are in conversation, and I'm telling you a story that by all rights would have made me really angry. But I'm acting like I'm unaffected by it.
Okay.
And what ends up happening is that you start to feel really, really angry. I've disowned my experience.
Right.
And I'm just fine. Nothing's wrong. Even though it should have made me angry. But now you're carrying my anger. That's one way of identifying dumping.
Got it.
Where somebody's disowned the experience, and now you're carrying the experience I should be describing.
Got it.
Okay? That's one.
Okay.
A second has to do with blaming.
Got it.
So if I again, I take no responsibility for my experience and the way I felt, the kinds of things I'm thinking about, and instead it's their fault, it's all out there someplace.
Yep.
That's also a way to dump.
Got it.
Because same thing, you're now making the other person carry kind of the experience of it, as opposed to going, you know what, I was wrong in that situation, and I should have handled it differently. And once you take responsibility, it's like settled in you, and now the audience is not carrying the emotionality of the experience.
Got it. Wow.
So when or if I'm projecting, a common psychological term,
Right.
where again it's another way to kind of disown the experience. So it's like, let's say I'm really sad and I come home and I look at the cat on the couch and I say, oh, that cat's really sad. Now I've projected my experience into that. That's another way to dump, where I'm having somebody else carry my experience.
Got it.
So anything where I'm not taking full responsibility of what my experience is, we can think of as kind of a dump.
Got it.
Storytelling is going to be going, you know what? This is what happened. These are kind of the facts of the situation, whatever it might be. And this is what my experience was in that situation or about that situation. Now I can tell the story. And I'm not victimized by it.
Yeah.
I'm not acting like a victim, and I'm not putting the blame on anybody else either.
Ownership of your own story
Is not dumping.
Right.
Yes.
And optimum health.
Yeah, it leads to optimum health.
Leads to
Absolutely.
optimum health.
Yes.
And it's something your audience can follow you on.
Right.
Otherwise they have no way of following you if you're blaming or dumping or not owning your own path.
Right. That's right. That's right.
That's why we have trouble following certain people who do that.
Right. Well, it's a disconnect. It doesn't feel genuine. It doesn't feel authentic.
Got it.
And it doesn't feel we can't trust. In that situation.
Yeah.
And as a result, it's kind of a major disconnect. So if you're up there on stage, I'm not going to want to follow you as the leader on that stage.
Yes.
If you're not being genuine, if you're not being what I'm experiencing as authentic and genuine.
Right.
And that would come about because you're blaming and you're putting blaming or dumping in other ways.
Yeah. That's why great leaders and great storytellers, which I'm demanding that you be. I mean, the promise that I make to the people that I work with is people won't have the ability to look away from you if you do these sort of things, but you have to take responsibility for the miles that you've run.
That's right.
And the minute that you don't, and you start blaming and pointing and project all those things, is the minute they can't listen to you anymore. They disconnect.
Right.
Huge distinction. Huge distinction. Thank you so much, Joan. Now, so when you're telling your stories, when you are going to get out there and you're going to lead, if you want people to follow you, you cannot make them responsible for the path that you've taken, right? You're responsible. You're ultimately responsible for your story. And you got to take care of your audience and don't puke on them and don't have them carry your luggage for you. Got it? That way they can follow you. Get out there and try it.